Hi, my name is Julianne and today I'm going to be talking about the fade. If you're like, okay, what are these lines on your face? What is this? I will be getting to that. I am cosplaying Orna. I know I'm failing. I think this is supposed to be on this side and this is supposed to be on this side. So I'm going to be discussing what this book is about. I'm going to have a non-spoiler section and then I'm going to go into spoilers because there's things I need to talk about. But if you don't know, Chris Winning is one of my favorite authors of all freaking time. Like, he's up there with Rick Riordan. With Rick Riordan, but unlike Rick Riordan, he's not really that famous, but he's an amazing author. And my favorite books has to be Malice and its sequel, Havoc, and then I would say it's Haunting the Lesbian Crime, and then I would say it's this book, The Fade, and then it's Silver. But they're all amazing books. So The Fade, it's kind of hard to describe in a way because I feel like it's hard to place it exactly in a genre. And how I would describe it is it's like a fantasy / steampunk civilization that lives underground inside a Monsters and Men music lyric video. Like, in this book, like, the world reminded me of a Monsters and Men, like, music. I would say lyric video. I've never watched their music videos, so I don't know. But their lyric videos, their little animation, like, animals, like, those were some of the animals that I had in mind when reading this book. By the way, there's, like, these, like, animals, like, if you get the book, you can look more closely. But, those, like, animals, that's why I was thinking of Monsters and Men, because, like, these, like, animal-looking things look like something from one of their music videos. But anyways, this world of The Fade is, like, very interesting and I feel like unique to read, and it's really cool. The main plot overarching thing is that this entire civilization that's made up of different groups of people live underground. There was this thing that happened, the sun stuff happens, and something with the sun, won't go into detail, you can read it in the book, happened, and it forced everyone to want to move underground. There are some people that live up there and they're called the Sun People. Everyone's living underground, and now it's almost like a steampunk world, but not. It's almost like a normal world where you have, like, the mafia and different families controlling different areas, although I think it's only in the one city that we're in. I don't know about the other cities. I think the city is called Verna, or, like, the location they're in is called Verna. Don't know how I remember that. But, there's different families that rule. In Verna, like, all the families and stuff, they're somewhat united in the sense that they're at war with another group of people, whose name I can't remember, and they're at war this whole time for, like, I think it's been, like, 7 years or something. It's been a long time. And so that's kind of like the setup. Like, right now there's just this war going on, and you have your main character, Orna, and that's who I'm cosplaying as. She's a bondswoman and a cadre. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think a bondswoman, or, like, just a bondsperson, and a cadre are kind of somewhat similar, but not exactly the same thing. A bondswoman, or I guess a bondsman, is someone who is in debt to one of the families. So Orna is in debt to one of the families for reasons. Read the book. And so she has to do whatever they say. Like, if she has to go kill someone, she has to go kill someone. She's basically an assassin, but she's awesome. Just throwing that one out there. And as a cadre, she was, like, basically trained, and I think, from what I can gather, because there was never, like, a specific, okay, cadre equals this type sentence. It's just kind of what you can gather out of the book. And I think, like, cadre is more like a soldier, so she was trained, and that's why she's such a good fighter and why she's such a good, like, bondswoman, because she can fight and all this stuff. So she's kind of like a soldier, and she also kind of owes one of the families for stuff. And so as a cadre, she's in war, and they're like foot soldiers, but they're, like, higher up. So you have, like, the higher up people who don't fight, and then you have in the military, and then you have the fighters, which are the cadre, who are, like, really awesome and they lead the charge, and then you have the other soldiers that are just normal civilians who had, like, really no training, they're just kind of drafted into it. So as a bondswoman, you get marked 3 lines on your face, which I think it's supposed to be the left side of my face, but okay. And then I think the symbol is supposed to be on my right shoulder, but I already put this on my face and I didn't want to change it. But anyways, and I don't know what the symbol of a cadre is, because it depends on your family that you're like part of, which because she's in debt to someone, she's part of like that specific family. And I don't think Chris Whitting ever wrote what the symbol looked like, so I just made up the spiral because that seemed the most easiest thing to do. So yeah, I hope I look badass, but I don't know if I'm pulling it off. On Orna, she is the most badass mom I've ever read in fiction, I believe, although Sally Jackson is pretty cool too, so I don't know, but Orna is really awesome. Like, she's so cool. And basically at the beginning of the book, she's you know, in battle, and then the enemy captures her and takes her to prison, which is a terrible, terrible prison. It's terrible. And so while she's there, she's trying to figure out a way to escape. So, you know, it's a little prison break stuff happening, and there's this whole conspiracy thing that's happening with the war, like, and there may or may not be a traitor out there. The characters were really good and awesome. There is this one weird relationship, but let's not get into that until spoilers. But I think the characters are interesting. The attention to detail, oh my god. So everyone, like each group of people, they speak their own language, right? And of course, Chris Whitting didn't make up his own language, but he did mention what each like language sounded like, which kind of matches like the group of people. So it'd be like, oh, they spoke in that raspy tone of theirs, or whatever. I just made that up. I don't know the exact wording that he used, but he would describe how that language sounded, and just to know what the language sounds like, and just what the creatures look like, and everything. It's just so much attention to detail. And it's a standalone fantasy novel, okay? Like, he creates this entire world so detailed and intricate in 300 pages. It's amazing. Like, I swear to you, Chris Whitting is like a master at world building. It's amazing. And so, like, I love this book so much. And so what I find really interesting, though, is the chapters. And I will tell you, if you're going to go into this book, you need this description, because I was so confused. This is the number of the first chapter. 30. 30. I was like, okay. And then the next chapter was 29. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's gonna go down. That's cool. Like, you know, almost like a countdown. That's interesting. The next chapter, 31. And I'm like, wait, what? I was so confused on how this number system went. But then I figured it out. So 30 is like the middle of Orna's story. That is like the middle point. So you have when she's born to getting captured, and all that stuff will be explained. And then you have this to the end, in a way. So the middle point of her story, of her like life story, is her in battle getting captured. Okay? So any number going 31, 32, 33, so forth, and so on, is her life before the beginning, before the first sentence of this book. So anything that happened before she got captured in battle. Any number going down, so 28, 27, 26, so forth, is present time. You know, it's happening real time, in a sense, you know. But I thought actually the numbering was really cool, and yeah, it did feel like a countdown, because it'd be like, I was on chapter 3, and then 2, and 1, and 0, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But yeah, I think overall it was a very satisfying read, but I do want more that of the story itself. Is like, I feel like Orna's story, it's over. I don't need any more. I don't need to see any more. She's badass, she's awesome, but it's okay if I don't see any more of her, but I need to see more of this world. I think it's so cool and interesting and amazing. Like Malice, I want more of that story because the world is so interesting. Like, I need like an entire book that just takes place in the city like that. Oh my god, the city is so cool. But in this book, there's just so much stuff, and there's so much more that he could have explored, And I think, like, he shouldn't have because of the story of, like, Orna. He needs, like, another book that's, like, a companion novel that just follows another character or something. It'd be so cool to watch or read. Not watch. But this would be a great movie. Like, seriously, the fight scenes are awesome. Like, Derek Landy level awesome. No one's read Skullduggery Pleasant, but I'm still referring to Derek Landy anyways. Overall, I really did enjoy The Fade, and I highly recommend it for people to read. And just read any Chris Pudding book. He's amazing, and he's so underappreciated. So, yeah, go read The Fade. Alright, spoilers. So, this is spoilers. Leave now if you do not want to be spoiled. Spoilers. Be gone if you haven't read the book, which is pretty much everyone, because no one reads Chris Pudding books anyways. So, I'm kind of upset that Orna never saw her son again. Maybe she will sometime in the future that we're just never gonna get to read, but it really is upsetting because I'm like, she spends this whole time trying to find her son and then she doesn't. But I mean, I'm not complaining, it was still such a fun read, like, it was insane. But I have to throw that one thing out there though. Orna and the kid, I forgot his name, like Finn or Flynn, Fletcher, it's probably not Fletcher, I think it's like Finn, something like that. The son-child guy, him, and like the kid that she helped get out of the prison, their relationship got kind of creepy. Like, she says that that's her son's age, and then she's just kind of like, I don't know if it's in love with him. It was a weird relationship, and I'm like, nope. And then when she went to go see the Sun Children again, I was like, please don't, because I don't want that relationship to happen, because it just really creeped me out. I'm not gonna lie. That was one of the things I was like, what is happening here? But one of the parts that I did enjoy of this book was that crazy, insane prison escape. It was intense. It was awesome. I can't believe she had to kill that one person. Oh my god. But it was so good. It was so good. Like, she gets... And to leave that one guy behind, the one that tried to rape her, I was like, go girl, go girl. Because she just used him and was like, bye, see ya, have fun dying, bye. And then she should have left the other guy, the guy who was working on Silverfish, behind. And just everything, how she just like got just the whole like plan, and her like exploring everything and pretending to be like a maid, and then them trying to get out, and they were like climbing down that cliff, and those things are trying to attack them, and they reminded me of like pterodactyls, like, trying to grab them, and I was like, it was so intense, and I was so scared, and I was just on edge. And then they fall into that thing, the lava magma thing, and they're just like, oh my god, that was insane. It was awesome. It was great. I loved it so much. It was so cool to read. Yeah, I did not see that ending happening at all. I was, wow, okay. They were really trying to do a peace agreement, and she just murdered everyone. Of course she did. I mean, it was awesome seeing that happen, but then you find out that it was a peace agreement. So, good job, Orna. But you're still a badass, so. The guy who was from prison, who was working with Silverfish, I actually thought he was Silverfish. I thought he was Silverfish, but no, it was the twin. It was the twin, because you think that they're just like ditzy and all like, but she was Silverfish the whole time, which I think was a great plot twist. But the whole time I'm like, that guy is Silverfish. Obviously he's Silverfish, and then no. Like at first I was like, oh no, he's lying, he's pretending to work for Silverfish. But no, he really was working for Silverfish, who was one of the twins whose name I can't remember. But that was insane. And honestly, if we can just get like some Silverfish like storyline happening, actually I would like Orna's friend that she like gives information to, I would love an entire book about him and his little stuff that goes on. And oh no, can we have a book with the whole with the the journalists who are like trying to like say bad things about the families and stuff, and trying like, oh, we could get some revolution thing happening. I don't even know. It'd be so freaking cool. Please, Chris Pudding, if you're ever watching this, which you probably aren't, you need to write a book about those journalists. I'm so excited. It'd be so cool. But he tends to not write books that I want. Like, I want, but like, I want more of. Like, I want a third book in the Malice duology. And still hasn't happened. It's been like 5 years, probably more. So, yeah. So overall, it's just like, it was such an awesome ride. It was so cool to read, and I just love the Fate so much. I think I read it in like 2 days. It was just, I don't know, I really loved that book. It was just so intricate and interesting, and the characters were cool, especially Orna, badass mother. But yeah, it was just, the prison escape was really good. I don't know what my favorite part of it was. It was really intense when she had to go out into the sun, and then the sun like tried, almost killed them, and they have 2 sons. They have 2 sons? Because I was thinking, my theory is that this takes place in the future, but I don't think it can if they have 2 sons. So, unless something happens. But, yeah. It's just really cool and really just a crazy ride, and I want more of this story, or of this world, and I would like to explore it with the journalists. Please, Chris Wooding, please write more books in this world, and Malice. I would like more Malice, if I could choose Malice, please. But, probably not watching this because you're writing your next book, so whatever. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video, so goodbye.